Welcome to the stand-up diet.
Thank you.
With Dr. Brady Smith.
Doctor. Ooh, I get 2 doctors this week.
Yeah, I was doctor. We are here today with some fun people, with some foods. Yeah. It's late. We're recording at night tonight, so I'm a little off. I apologize.
It's all right.
Can we just hop into things?
Yeah, we got to get through this because I'm so hungry. I want to get to this food so fast. So let's go through the dental giveaways really quick. We are still doing dental giveaways. So we got the one big one. We're doing full mouth rehabilitation. You must nominate somebody else. We will do everything that is required to fix some teeth for people. Nominate someone you love. Nominate someone who needs this work. Email us at thestandupdiet@gmail.com.
You're so lucky that my phone died and I can't do the buzzer. Wah, 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 pimp your grill.
Just as bad without the buzzer, actually, as it turns out. As it turns out, it still sucks.
You signed up for this.
So nominate yourself. Email us at standupdiet@gmail, thestandupdiet@gmail.com, and tell us about the person you're nominating. I want to know everything there is to know, why you think they deserve this. We're going to be announcing something around Christmas time.
For a full mouth rehab.
And then last week we had Gillespie Dentistry helping us out. This week we got 2 Comfort Dental offices in Vancouver helping us out with $500 giveaways apiece, each one.
I'm the dentistry hype
Still be giving away 2 $500 giveaways. This one is going to be won by you listening to the podcast, paying attention when we reveal the secret word or phrase.
Secret word.
And then emailing us what that secret word or phrase was. And the first person to do that
gets to pimp their grill. He hates it. I love it.
For $500. Pimp their grill for $500. Anyway, that's the dental giveaway.
That's a lot
of
money.
Please participate. Please share this with people who you think might participate. You can gift the $500 giveaway if you win it and you don't want it or want to give it to someone else. You can gift that away.
$500 goes a long ways.
Yeah, and we're also, and I'm instructing all the dentists who do this to think of it as $500 of cost. Not necessarily $500 of retail value. So it's up to the discretion of the dentist. But what that means is that a crown might cost me like $250 to do, but it's actually the retail value that's like $800 to $1,200. But we would definitely do that. So it's actually going to err in the favor of the patient. We're not going to have someone come in and do if they need a crown, we would make them pay an extra $250. Like we'll take really good care of the people. And
I don't want to put words in people's mouths. So many mouth jokes with a dentist. I love
There's a few.
But it's almost like they get a procedure, almost like.
Yeah, it's going to be like one procedure or a major discount off a major procedure like an implant. We will definitely work with our people who win this and make it absolutely worthwhile. So pretty excited about that. Who do we have on the podcast today, Amanda?
Well, Dr. Brady Smith. Did you get a haircut, by the way? Did you get your ears lowered?
Yeah, Dad.
Yeah, it's
sure did.
It's a good. I'm gonna touch it.
Oh,
nice.
Okay.
That's a good fade.
Yeah.
He's not real comfortable with being touched, so he's always like, mm-hmm. For the first month when I'd hug you, you'd be like, I don't know what to do while you're doing this.
My butt out, a butt out hug.
So awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And you're what, 6'4"?
Yeah.
6'3", and I'm like 5'2", so it's like a little kid just hugging you around your waist.
Yeah.
Right. You're like, stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, we do have a guest.
We do. I'm sorry.
We could pay attention to him at some point.
Instead of talking.
No, do more inside jokes. It's great.
I'm
loving it over here.
We have Murray, and I want to know, we've been friends for a while.
Yeah, I can't believe you can't say my last name.
I feel like I'm saying it right, and then when you say I'm not saying it right, and then I say it, I'm like, that's what I'm saying.
Well, what are you saying?
Murray Valeriano.
Valeriano, close enough.
Valeriano.
Yeah.
Like Valerian Steel.
Right.
From Game of Thrones.
Oh, I don't watch
I never
that.
heard of that. I mostly get Valerian root.
I read the first book and then didn't realize the TV show was about...
Screw the books. Just watch the TV show. It's great.
Well, I didn't realize the TV show was the same as the book until I watched the first episode. And then I was like, why do I know what's going to happen? Yeah. And then I realized I read the book 12 years before.
Yeah, reading is for suckers. Just watch the show.
I love to read.
Okay.
All
whatever.
Right. Murray has done all kinds of
you
amazing
love to read.
things. Huh?
You love to read.
I do. I love to read. I'm better. It's just a subtle way of being like, I'm better than you.
Right. No, you love to read everything but my last name, apparently.
So true.
Do we know we've known each other a long time?
Yes.
Okay.
And you're amazing.
Oh, so are you. Thank you.
And you guys met on the comedy circuit scene?
Yeah.
Tour?
That was a fun first gig. We Squim Washington.
Sequim, I like to call it. Sequim,
Good
yeah.
old Squim.
Yeah. Horrible place.
We met Evil Knievel's son that night.
Yes.
No way.
And he I'm gonna openly talk about this. I don't care.
All right, go ahead.
Come at me. What was his name?
Robbie Knievel.
Robbie Knievel. I couldn't remember his first name.
First of all, hold on. I was stoked that I just met Robbie Knievel because I was a big Evil Knievel fan.
He was so excited.
And got a picture with him. It's on my social media everywhere. I'm wearing the same jacket
Yeah,
I'm wearing
that's
right now,
Nice.
which is coincidental.
But we didn't know until the host went up on stage and was like, "We're super excited. We have Evil Knievel's son, Robbie Knievel." And I look over Murray and he's like,
And by the way, it was 9 people in the audience. So, and we still could.
And
I
one of
still
them was
couldn't.
Robbie
Yeah,
Knievel.
and I still couldn't tell it was Robbie Knievel. There's not a Knievel look. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't in the Stars and Stripes outfit or anything like that. So it was just.
that would have been awesome.
It
He
was
didn't
just-
ride into the room on a motorcycle when they said that he was there,
And a cape.
Through the crash through
which
the
was
window.
super disappointing.
Yeah.
Which
Oh, man.
really talk about going against brand.
Yeah, that's disappointing,
Yeah.
actually.
So Murray was headlining. I was featuring. I go up. I do my time. I get off stage. Murray goes up. And so I'm sitting there watching Murray, and Rob comes over and sits next to me.
Oh,
and
he's Rob to you.
Robbie, whatever.
All right.
I can't.
just
I have a
got
hard
familiar.
time calling
We've
grown
been-
men like Bobby
We've
or
been pen
Robbie.
palling ever since.
Right? Well, I could have.
Oh, like he can write.
Oh.
He came over. It's hard to.
Sorry, did I lose a lot of Robbie Knievel fans off your
Right.
podcast?
You guys didn't see him. Go to our pages and I mean, this guy has had a rough upbringing. Like he was probably
Is
doing
he handsome?
no,
Oh.
not at all.
Oh,
He's like in his
ooh,
60s probably, and he looks like he's had a rough
He
go
looks like
at it.
anybody you'd see at Sturgis
Yes.
biker route.
Got it.
Sturgis
Not,
biker route.
don't
Got
want to
it,
lose
yeah.
our Sturgis listeners, but you're just rough.
No,
like,
it's not a
Yeah.
bad thing. He just like anybody you'd see at Sturgis. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, there's a good chance it wasn't Robbie Knievel and somebody was fucking with us.
that'd be
Can I
so
say
funny.
Yeah.
that? Okay.
He came up to me and was like, "You were super funny up there, and I want to take a selfie with you." And I was like, "Oh, let's take a selfie." And that selfie was real close, like a lot of face, like here we are taking a selfie.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "What are you doing in Squim?" And he's like, "Well, I'm working on my own one-man comedy show." And I was like, "Well, let's talk
That's
more
called
about."
stand-up comedy, right?
It's not what he was doing.
Right.
Oh,
He's
that's what I think when I hear
he's
one
a
man.
ventriloquist.
What? No, you didn't hear that part?
Oh.
You didn't know that?
No.
Like a Jeff Dunham
That's
type of
my
thing.
favorite part of this
You didn't
story.
tell me that part of the story.
I did, but the Grey Goose vendor was there that night
Oh, right.
and giving
Oh.
us shots.
Oh, Miss Grey Goose.
She was like,
Miss
"You guys
Grey
are
Goose
funny," and there's
2016.
nobody here.
Yeah.
Here, shots. So he's like, "I'm gonna do a one-man show where it's me. It's kind of like stand-up, but I have my dad in the form of a puppet." Ooh, I love it. I'm gonna make it through this without laughing.
Okay. You can do this.
Can't do it.
You can do it.
My dad in the form of a puppet that sits on my lap, and I tell stories about my childhood.
and then when I tell him about the time he jumped the Snake River, I throw him across the stage.
I was like, I don't want to think there's a difference between performance art and therapy. Like, this is where you hurt me, Dad, right here in my heart. Point on the doll
Yeah.
where he hurt you.
Show us on your dad doll where your dad
Here.
hurt you.
It was in my heart. It was my feelers. And then I was like, "Well, do you live in Squim? Why here?" And he said, "I'm so sorry." He's like, "No, I'm traveling around all the casinos." He's like, "But I have a beautiful bus. It's got a queen-size bed and an ice maker if you want to come check it out."
Yeah.
And I said, "Crushed or cubed?"
Good question.
And he's like, "Cubes." And I was like, "You were so close." I was like, "I'm a crushed ice kind of girl. I can't do it." It was a lot. I was going to get murdered in a bus.
But
Or definitely
with
jumped
cubed
by a
ice.
Knievel.
It was so fun.
Randall?
Oh my
Jumped by a
God.
Knievel? That's the name of your next album, Jumped by a Knievel.
Jumped by a Knievel.
I will go out of my way to get pictures with the Robbie Knievels of the world.
Oh, yeah.
And like flip off a Jack Nicholson. Like I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
The president, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was performing in Reno with who was the American Idol winner? the gay boy with the red hair.
Adam Lambert.
Clay Aiken was
Yeah.
performing in the next theater, and I was out drinking after the show, and Clay Aiken was sitting in the bar with his bodyguard, and I just beelined it. And like the bodyguard stood up, and I stiff arm him. I'm like, I want a picture with Clay Aiken.
Nice.
And I got it.
And you got it.
I got it. And then the next day in the Reno Gazette, it was singer Clay Aiken and comedian Murray Valeriano out on the town.
Best friends.
Best friends ever.
Best friends.
And by the way, the picture, I'm drunk, and the picture is just me just smiling ear to ear, and Clay like, why do I have a bodyguard? Shouldn't
Clay
you stop
Aiken
me
now
from this,
dating
people?
Murray Valeriano.
He was like, why would this
Cock-canoodling.
guy leave me alone? And your story is like, he's like, let's go, buddy.
Right. Do you bowl? Let's do it.
Do it. Oh, that's so awesome. Did you guys see what I did? I was gonna let it go, but
The hourglass thing?
Yes.
No, I try to ignore your bad behavior.
What happened? Did you not flip the hourglass?
Again, you picked me. I didn't. He was like, make sure you turn the hourglass. So what did I do? Hold on, I did this.
Well, that's what you're supposed to.
No, look at the top.
No.
Really good.
Oh,
There's a
all
top
right.
and bottom.
Oh.
Yeah, so I fail
Yeah,
at
flip
things.
it.
There we go.
There you go.
All right.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Now we're good.
12 minutes after you
Oh my gosh.
Should we talk about food?
Yes.
Yeah. What do we got here?
Yeah.
This is a chip.
So today we have been given food by a local restaurant in Camas, Washington called Los Potrillos,
Ooh.
which is Spanish for the Potrillos. I don't know that word. Murray, do you know that word?
Potrillos?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. It's a
We have
word.
Google translation.
It's a word.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what this restaurant is.
I'm not
Anyways,
up on my Spanish.
they're fantastic, and they've given us some food. They've given us some tacos carbone. They've given us some vegetarian fajitas. They've given us a big old burrito to try out. They've given
Oh
us
my gosh.
chips
This looks amazing.
and
look at that.
salsa with guacamole.
That's a football-sized burrito.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're
That's
listening,
like a weird Food Channel burrito.
That's like
Yeah.
they should put
you're
Goodyear on
listening,
the
this-
side of that.
this burrito is roughly the size of a newborn infant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
now it's unappetizing.
9 pounds, 8 ounces.
Well, now it's kind of.
Seven
We're about to
pound-
dig in.
All right,
7
well,
pound, 5 ounce.
Oh, it's the first thing
Where
in
are they
mind.
located?
Wait,
Downtown
creepy guy.
Camas?
No, not downtown. They're off 192nd Avenue in Camas, close to Comfort Dental.
Oh.
Check us out. See, I did that.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
You want to hand Murray his stuff? And then we
Oh,
can
is this
talk.
for me?
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Let's
fantastic.
Move the tacos carbone.
All right.
Get the meat away from him.
Yeah, get the meat
Again.
away from me.
Let's open this up here. And we got
I
some-
love that we have the only podcast where people eat and we're like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
choo choo, burp burp.
yep, it's fine.
Joke.
Yeah, if you don't eat on your podcast, I don't even want to know you.
I'm just gonna taste this.
A lot of people I don't want to know.
This is this is very big fajitas also.
It's just a lot of food.
Yeah, it's a lot of food. Thank you.
Yeah.
Whoever.
Restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Is it
And
Los
I haven't
Har-
eaten since like what 10 o'clock this morning or
Yeah,
something.
we would have had.
Wow.
There's forks right in front of you.
You got napkins by any chance?
Yes, I do.
Keep them over there.
I know.
Thank you.
Now, Murray, you are a vegetarian.
I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for close to 25 years.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you happy with your decision thus far?
absolutely. I
Okay.
love it. I got no problems with it. I have no complaints about it.
Okay.
What made you switch?
Health originally, and then as I kind of read up on the gross, disgusting stuff we put into animals, that kind of solidified it. And then later on, I read all the gross, disgusting stuff we put into vegetables. And I'm like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
You're like, I'm already here.
Oh, come on, man. What are you doing? What are
I
you
came
doing? I
this
got to
far.
eat something at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Awkward, quiet silence. Hold on, I'll keep this going. While you
I
guys
was
chew.
chewing. You were salsing.
We
You was
got 3
chewing.
people who are.
None of us have eaten in
Yeah,
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't eat. I ate at like noon, and that was the last time I ate.
We can always speed this up with the
So-
power of editing.
Yeah. So we got 3 hungry people. So
Right.
if there are periods of silence, just know that we're okay.
When I promote this on social media, I'll be like, hey, listen to me eat for an hour
Yeah.
in 12
Yeah.
minutes.
Perfect. Perfect. Because Amanda forgot to flip the hourglass
I flipped it.
like
it was
a
just-
rookie.
Yeah, it was
Right.
just the wrong
Like
way.
a rookie.
I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. So Murray's background's a lot in TV.
Yeah.
Not just comedy.
Well, comedy TV.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you start in with that?
I originally I had a kind of hybrid sketch stand-up show I was doing with basically 2 other guys for the foundation. One you might know is a comedian named Hal Sparks,
Oh yeah.
and so
Sure.
it's me and him, and another guy named John Comerford, and a guy named Rob McClure, and a girl named Tammy, and we did it at the Ice House.
A girl named Tammy.
No, Tammy doesn't have a last name. Obviously,
God.
he would have said it.
Was that horrible? What happened?
What
I
happened
just
to
know
Tammy?
her. No, Tammy's great. I talked to Tammy the other day. She's fantastic. John and Tammy were married. That's why I should have said John's
She
wife.
probably
Tammy.
has a difficult last name like Valeriano. You just can't say it.
Yeah, he said it right. He
Her
just met me.
She's listening right
Because
now.
I
She's
watched
like,
Game of
my
Thrones."
last name's Smith.
It is Berg.
Yeah, hear it?
So I got a pilot deal off that, and that kind of the pilot went nowhere, and then I kind of got asked to write another show off of that, and it kind of slowly took off from there. Then I got into writing, and
I've heard that
started
pilots
stand-up.
often go nowhere.
Yeah,
Right?
very
That's
much.
not
yeah.
something that's like heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. No, not at all. They also used to have the development deal in comedy, which was great, where they would give you like $500,000 to come up with an idea for a show, and then they would shoot it, and it wouldn't go anywhere. And so you just pocket the rest of the money. Then they realized that, we're losing a lot of money doing that, giving a comic who has 5
That
minutes.
sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was great. And then one, I think this is, I won't say her name, but one comedian ruined that. And it's wide known through the industry. So, but I won't say her name. And it was she was a stripper turned comedian who had a killer 7 minutes. They gave her a deal and then realized she only had 7 minutes and no other talent outside of that. And that's pretty much what, like, she got like the biggest development deal ever given. And then that's what kind of killed the comedian development deal. They're very rare now.
So I got a question for you, because when you've done kind of stand up and like some writing
have a
stuff for
follow-up
like
question.
networks or like TV companies, do you find it aggravating at all to work for companies that kind of scrutinize your material, change your material, versus like stand up where you kind of call the shots?
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's because a lot of times TV executives have no background in comedy, or they're like lawyers.
But they try to like opine on.
I remember I got into a fight with an executive producer one time when she sat down to read the script. She's like, I was an English major, so I'm going to go over the script. And I said, nothing kills a joke more than an English major.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get called
can
back on
imagine.
that show. So yeah, there's a lot of people. Well, I always say this: you never meet it. Everybody thinks they have a sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
You never meet somebody who's like, I don't like laughing and I don't like jokes. But everybody thinks they do, and a lot of people have to justify their jobs.
Something you said, come here, about, you said that she had a killer 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
She gets a development deal, and she had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So
That is the lore.
No.
Although
Yeah.
I know who it is.
But you've seen that happen before.
Oh,
I would
sure.
assume. Okay, so I made a comment to, I'm also not going to say their name, about this comic was being very supportive of a few comics in the scene that I feel have a great 15 minutes, but they've been telling the same 15 minutes for the last 2 or 3 years. And I was telling her, I was like, it's just frustrating seeing them get all this stuff from those same 15 minutes that they've just been writing on. And they were like, well, if that 15 minutes works, I'm like, but what if something happens? What if they do get a development deal and then they don't have any more material?
Sure.
And they didn't see where I was going with that. So do you kind of agree with me that, you can only write a 15 minutes so long? You have to
No,
keep
you have
writing.
to. And you know what happens a lot, and it's happened to a lot of my friends, they'll get to be the opener of a huge stadium comic or a huge 6,000-seater comic, and they just get comfortable making that money, getting flown in private jets and doing 15 minutes up front.
Right.
And then I know several of them who gotten canned because they didn't write anything new.
Yeah.
So it's, especially when you start getting repeat customers and fans and stuff, you just got to keep writing, man. You just got to keep moving forward. But it's very easy to sit on those 15 minutes.
Yeah,
it's very easy. It's very easy to stay in the
complacency
feature spot too.
It's easy to become complacent.
Yeah.
When you finally are making some money that's paying bills, and now you're supporting yourself, and that's got to feel amazing that you can do that in comedy, because so many people can't. So many people struggle with that, right?
Yeah.
So
I experienced that when I was featuring on the road a lot in new towns, because I wasn't on TV, I wasn't putting anything on the internet, and I was in a different town every weekend. And these were little podunk, triple run, hell gigs. And I quit for that year. I wasn't writing very much because I didn't have to, because my material was new at every single town.
Sure.
But then you start, I think what separates you from somebody that wants just the attention of comedy versus they really love it and they need it is that you start to feel real sour. You're kind of like a marionette. You're just going through the motions, and it doesn't feel good. It's not fun anymore.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, you agree with that?
Oh sure, for sure. But yeah, for sure, I agree. I don't. know what you're saying.
Okay.
But you
And we've been
agreed.
together. We've been together since 9:30 this morning.
This is
We're
9:30
done.
This morning. Yeah, if somebody else would like to talk, please
Yeah.
go ahead. And also, if you could just not make me look at the left side of your face or your right side of your face because you've been driving all day.
Yeah,
I'd like to see
exactly.
the left side for change. There you go. Much better.
Is that good?
Yeah.
So, do you ever play Mega Millions?
Is that the lottery?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Do you know what the last payout was? It was at $1.6 billion.
Well, but was it paid out though?
I don't know if was there a winner?
There
was a winner.
Okay.
Yeah. So someone won.
All right,
And
let's fund those anti-transgender bathrooms with that money in North Carolina.
North Carolina,
maybe.
yeah.
They got a lot of money now to do a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you don't ever play? Or do you ever fantasize about like what you would do if you like won that? Because I do. I think about it all the time.
I fantasize about winning the lottery and never play. But I fantasize a lot.
Yeah.
One time I was writing on a show, and it was the Powerball or whatever the lottery was reached its biggest point at that time, which was not nearly one. It was whatever 780 million or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And every writer and every producer and every editor and every PA and everybody pitched in $10 each.
A group.
And we bought like 1,000 tickets.
Yeah.
And you know how much we won?
Nothing.
Goose egg.
Yeah.
Zero. I
Zero.
won more off scratchers, and we put in thousands of dollars to win something.
Wow.
So
The psychology of it's really weird because I'm guilty of this. Like I will, I'll play when it like reaches like $1 billion.
When you're less likely
But
to
when
win.
it's 300 million, like it normally always is, nah, not interested, right?
oh
But-
no, I can't.
That's chump change,
I can't
right?
stop by the
Jesus.
7-Eleven for that.
Right. But when it's like 1.6 billion, I'm like, okay, lottery, I'm interested. I'll look into this. I'll spend $30 on. I don't win anything ever.
The last time it was in the billions, I Googled what you're supposed to do if you win the lottery, and there was a whole step-by-step, like 10-step process. And the first thing, number one, it says, get a safety deposit box, put the lottery ticket in a safety deposit box. Number two, get a therapist. Before you get an accountant, before you get a lawyer, they say to get a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say to seclude yourself for 30 days away from everybody. Even, you may want to consider even your spouse and really process what you're going to do. I know I wanted some of your rice too.
So if my wife wins the Mega Millions and she disappears for 30 days,
Or you explain that to your wife.
I would have problems.
Explain that to your
It
wife.
doesn't fly if the other way around.
Yeah,
no.
you're like, babe, I need you to watch our 4 children while I go figure out what I'm going to do with our money in the woods. What?
Well, I'm gonna go figure out what I'm
Remember
gonna do
that
with
guy
my
Brady
money.
I
Our
used
money.
to do a podcast with?
The internet said I have to go to the woods and think about this. So
Babe, look, it's on the internet.
right, that's a terrible idea.
This is a weird segue, but I'm an avid surfer.
Okay.
And they say you have better luck getting attacked by a shark than you do playing the lottery.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
I just don't play
Have
the
you?
lottery.
Murray, are you afraid of that?
Of the
I was
lottery?
gonna
Sharks.
ask that, yeah.
No, because
Who's not afraid of sharks?
no. But are you afraid like while you're surfing? Do you think about that? Does
Or
it
have you had
cross?
close calls?
Does it cross your mind?
Sure, I saw a shark the other day.
The great thing is you can pee your pants and it's fine.
Oh, you pee your pants anyway.
Because
Warm.
it keeps you warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you're not
absolutely.
scared, you pee your pants in the
I'm doing
ocean.
it right now.
Obviously.
Turn on the heat.
But you don't think about that. It's not something.
Oh no, I do, but you
Do
don't.
you?
I mean, you don't dwell on it. But
I do, and I don't surf.
I've had close encounters. I've had.
Have you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had a white shark between you and me.
What?
He had been seen a couple times that morning, and he popped up and bumped my friend Chris's board, the nose of the board, and just almost knocked
You're with
her
a
off
buddy.
the board. Yeah, it was a
And
girl,
he knocks
Chris.
his board.
He bumped her board,
Oh.
and that's when we decided
And you're
to
like,
get out.
we're done for
Yeah.
the day.
I'd seen him like twice
Or
that morning, and it didn't
forever.
matter. And then he's like, kind of got close. So I'm like, yeah, we'll go in.
You saw him and kept surfing still?
Yeah,
You surf daily, right?
yeah, I try to. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 topics about Murray,
Okay.
Brady, and you're going to pick which one you want to talk about.
All of them.
We'll end up
Thank you,
talking about all of them. But
Me too.
we'll end up talking about them, but I just want you to pick one first.
Hurry up, I only have an hour and 12 minutes.
One, you were either pro or a semi-pro poker player, correct? Ish, higher
Semi,
notch.
yeah, semi. I mean, semi is stretching it. but
Okay.
yeah.
Played professionally.
No,
played for money.
No, I played for money, but I also paid some bills with it too.
Yeah,
Semi.
Yes. And I didn't say anything. I'm being real good. And you got it, though. You got it. I love that you got the joke. Is what I loved.
Right.
2, he had open heart surgery in May.
Oh.
And 3, he was an adult with braces, which is unfortunate. I'm sorry you had to go
I
through
love that. I love that.
Which would you like to talk about?
half my patients are braces. Or half my sorry, that didn't make sense. Half my patients are not braces.
Have you been drinking all of a sudden?
Half my patients in braces
Are adults.
are adults.
I wish you guys started this podcast 2 years ago. I could have got them for free.
Maybe.
I was listening to that nomination. I'm like, I can get Amanda to nominate me 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Why not?
Right. Get Marie's adult braces going for
Absolutely.
You would have been like, do you want to come down and go surfing, Brady?
Yeah. No, because of the sharks, man. I can't
Let's
go-
start with braces then.
Okay.
Yeah, I like braces.
I had adult braces.
Are you happy? Oh, look at that. Okay.
They look all right.
Are you happy? Are you happy with the results?
Yeah, totally.
Did you go because you just for like cosmetic straightening?
Cosmetic, and I didn't have. Valerianos have notoriously bad teeth, and I was the only one who ever got braces. My dad was I always say my dad was like, people ask me why I didn't get braces as a kid, and my dad was a preacher, and Jesus didn't offer dental, so
Well,
I didn't have braces when I was a kid, and
A
so they
preacher
just got.
is basically a small business owner.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
There's no, and that's the same as me.
Yeah, you
like,
can't
no
pray the crooked away.
Yeah, no one's buying me dental or I get that for free, but
I would hope so.
Medical, no.
Right? Yeah.
No. I know a guy.
Yeah. So then they got really bad, and so I just decided to suck it up and get them, and then get made fun of for
How long were you in them?
2 years.
And wires
to the day.
Traditional
did
wires
train
and brackets or
racks.
like Invisalign?
No, train tracks right
Train
across.
He got Invisalign off Instagram. I'm constantly teasing Brady about that. I have, since I've started hanging out with him, I'm inundated with dentistry stuff on all my social media.
Yeah.
And they're constantly trying to get me to buy Instagram Invisalign. And he hates it. I love it. I'm sorry.
Are you
I poke at you so
anti-Invisalign?
much.
No,
Is
that's
that like
fine.
He's like, it's not
Is that like a dental
monitored by a dentist. It's mail order Invisalign. They're like, we'll send you a mold. You take a mold of your teeth, and then we'll send you Invisalign braces, and voila, from the internet.
Those guys are under a lot of
It
problems
seems
right
janky.
now because you can't evaluate someone's periodontal health. So that's that's where your gums rest along your teeth.
Oh, yeah.
And if you move the teeth and it's not a healthy situation, it's going to exacerbate periodontal disease,
Okay.
which will result in you losing teeth essentially.
Do you have a lot of dental listeners?
We're getting there.
Just
I'm
out
getting
of,
a
just
lot
out
of
of,
stats
curi-
show
just out of
dental- I don't
curiosity. I was just
No, but in general, I have found people are interested in dental stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
So can we?
I am obsessed with teeth.
It's a frightening profession to most people.
Bef-
It's a very misunderstood profession.
I know a lot of my friend Tammy, just Tammy. She is
I'm
definitely
sorry,
afraid.
Tammy. Reach
she is-
out to me.
The artist
She is
formerly known as
definitely
Tammy.
afraid of the dentist, and I hope I'm not
Yeah.
telling stories out of school.
Yeah.
But I didn't say her last name, so nobody.
Just Tammy. Well, that's why we've talked about. I asked why dentists used to have such a high suicide rate, and it's because people
Everyone
don't like
hates
you.
us. Everyone hates us.
Oh, really?
Well, we inflict pain.
You
then
and the
people blame
IRS.
us.
You're like
Yeah.
the IRS with
Oh,
tools.
and meter maids.
So before we go any further, real quick, because I feel like we grazed over it. How do we feel about the food?
I love. Here's the thing. Mexican food. I like the refried beans and the rice.
That's my favorite too.
Are delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, and they do a very good job. I'm having the tacos carbone, which is like meat, like carne asada.
Is it
And-
carne asada or pork?
No, this is carne asada.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's awesome, and it's fantastic, and it's hitting the spot. And I
Tacos
wish-
Carbone sounds like a Goodfellas character.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Frankie Carbone.
Let's go with Tacos
Exactly what I was
Carbone.
thinking
Let's
about.
go.
Frankie Carbone,
Mhm.
my favorite character from Goodfellas.
Was he the gray-haired guy?
No,
Is that
he
Billy
had the
Batts?
fuzzy. He had the
The
fuzzy,
black.
fuzzy black hair.
The one the Simpsons based their character off
Yes.
of. Yes, okay.
And he was found dead in a meat truck.
Yeah, it took him 3 days to defrost
good.
him.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
I
Frankie
can't-
Carbone.
Can't not watch Goodfellas when it's
Oh.
on, and it was on last night.
Yeah.
His
that's
name
right.
is actually Frankie Carbone.
Frankie Carbone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, it was great when I first moved to Los Angeles in the late 90s. All the Martin Scorsese character actors would all eat at the same pizza joint.
No way.
And so they'd all just be out there all day with their guts hanging out and just chowing pizza just all day.
And you totally recognize him from
oh,
his
everyone.
film. Oh.
Johnny Roast Beef and Frankie. Everybody.
Yeah.
It's great.
Johnny Rosebeef.
Johnny Roast Beef.
These are great characters.
Fetus. Meh. You good? Meh.
Fetus?
Fetus. How's your fetus? Is it good with
Isn't that your
salsa?
burrito was a fetus? Didn't we talk about that? This is, I don't know what he's talking about. This food is fantastic.
Yeah, this is
These
this
fajitas
burrito,
are great.
I
The
can't
beans
quit
are
picking at
awesome.
it.
Rice is rice. I've never been blown away by rice in anything.
Because you're from LA too. You guys have real good Mexican food.
Yeah,
in
we have
there.
really good Mexican food. And these fajitas are fantastic. And the beans are great.
Cool.
And I'm going to sit here and continue to eat them.
Awesome.
And
Okay.
you're vegetarian fajita. Thank you for honoring my vegetarianism.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Honoring?
Even though I fundamentally disagree with it. That's fine. I still support
I
you, right?
fundamentally disagree with dentistry.
fine.
So
See,
it's a racket.
people from different ideologies can get together and have a civil conversation.
It's amazing, right? I have
It's incredible.
Voodoo
everybody.
of the new decade. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
right? And we're trying to spread that word that we come from very different demographics, but we get together and you can have conversations with people and be like, oh, I don't agree with that, but can you pass the chips? Like, who cares? Like, anyway.
No, it's very hard, very difficult for three white people to sit and talk and get along.
I know.
We've got a lot of stuff to
nothing can
overcome.
I'm not
Nothing
white,
wrong.
but I shouldn't. I'm gonna stop. I'm doing the DNA test. I'm doing it.
Oh, but 23andMe?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think you're going to find?
Well, I don't want to lose any listeners, so I'm gonna tiptoe around this. I might be a little tiny bit black. And I know so many people are looking up the YouTube.
We're going to gain
If you want to
listeners. Are you
try,
kidding me?
Why are we losing listeners? Because you might be black.
Well,
do
I
I
just-
want
I
to? Do I want to be on this podcast?
Great
I
question.
don't know. I don't want to like make people think
I
that I,
knew
understand
Oregon
the
had a
struggle.
lot of white supremacists for a long time, but
Yeah.
this is ridiculous.
I don't want people to like think that I understand the struggle or anything. But okay, so my grandma was brown. My grandma was just kind of brown colored, and she had green eyes though, like me.
Did you
So-
know her personally?
Yes.
Okay.
She was super old. She was born in 1912. Had my mom in 1954 when she was 45,
Maybe
With
she's
a guy that
brown
was-
from age.
with a guy that was 18 years younger than her. Like grandma had,
Yowzers.
yeah.
Yeah, get it.
So when she went to retire, she thought she was born in 1916, and they're like, "You were actually born in 1912. You could have retired like 3 years ago."
Oh,
That's bummer.
that sucks.
So she used to always tell us she was Native American, that she was born on a res in Oklahoma,
Okay.
and doing my mom passed away when I was 15. So I don't know, and all her family's gone. So I don't know a lot about my mom's side of the family. Been doing Ancestry.com, and I get to my grandmother's great grandfather, and I add him, and his name was Hiram Freeman. And this lady messages me, and she says, the Hiram Freeman that you added, there were two of them in this town. Mine was white. Yours was the biracial son of a freed slave.
Oh.
And I was working at Helium that night, and Helium's our club here in town, our comedy club. And I go in, and the manager is like this beautiful black man, and
Gorgeous. I saw him tonight.
he is so pretty. And I'm kind of eyeballing him out of the corner of my eye, and like he was like, "You look more up to something than normal." And I was like, "I found out that I'm black." He was like, "No, you stop it, no."
Shut you down.
He was like, "You can't talk about you, Mandy. You call yourself canned ham on stage, no." And I was like, "Are there like secret handshakes? Like, do we get a card?" I was like, are there secret meetings?" And he tagged the joke, and he's not a comic, and I love when they do that. He's like, "No, white people are the only people that have secret meetings, Amanda." And I was like, "You're right. You're right."
Oh, that's funny. That's
so
funny.
now I want to know. I want to know what I am.
I don't want to know.
I don't know why I want to know
I'm
either.
with
It's not
Murray.
going to change anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to know about me. I also don't really care.
Fair
Go
enough.
bleep yourself, Murray.
bleeped already?
Yeah,
Oh, no, right before the cross.
I don't know
Okay.
why I want to know. It's weird. Because you're a show off and have both parents. I get that, but I think it's big. I don't
Listen,
know.
having both parents is awesome.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it.
Hold on. Hold on.
But maybe it's because my mom died when I was a kid. Like I feel like I'm gonna get some sort of validation.
Oh, well, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was my last name is Valeriano, pronounced Valeriano, and
Jesus.
I ended up pretty much grew up in the predominantly Italian part of New Jersey, where they literally filmed the Sopranos. They filmed it on all my old stomping grounds.
No
and
way.
all that.
Oh, cool.
When do you
And-
start bragging and telling a story?
Was that right? Me and Johnny roast beef. So very Italian. Like Italians, especially Italians in New Jersey, are very pro-Italian. And if you weren't Italian in New Jersey, you were looked down upon. Doesn't matter what color skin you are, or what nationality. It's Italians rule. So when I was like
Right.
25, I came home to visit my parents, and my dad sat us down at Sunday dinner and was all teary-eyed and said, "I have something to tell you. Your grandfather is not your real grandfather. Your grandmother, I don't remember the story. Your grandma, so forgive me, Dad, if you're watching this and I'm getting this wrong. Your grandmother might have had an extramarital affair and had me, and that's why you're not." All I was like, "So we're not Italian?" Like I couldn't. He's like, "No, we're not Italian." I'm like, I'm going to stay Italian. I'm 25. You don't switch horses midstream.
No.
So I'm just riding out the Italian.
That's fine.
So I don't
think
really
that's
want to
fine.
know.
Yeah. So, what did you have done on your heart?
Braces.
You had
It was a side
crooked
effect.
heart.
Stifle it, Randall. These
It
guys
was-
don't
it
like
was
me.
a
You're the only one who likes
It
me
was
here.
a side
Let it out,
effect
buddy.
of well, he hasn't had to hear it for last year. So he was supposed to be in my festival. Murray
The
was.
Undertow Festival, right?
Yeah, the Undertow Festival.
That's the one.
And he calls me, in which we're texting people like.
We're texting friends.
So he's like, "Hey, you around?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then he calls, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm in trouble.
Serious
What's happening?"
business.
Yeah,
Like,
when you're texting friends and you get a call from a texting friend, you know something shit's
I'm
up.
either getting a special, he's taking me with him,
Right.
or something happened. But he's like,
And this is a week before the festival.
a week.
Yeah.
And what's funny is there are shit gigs that you go on that you do.
Mm-hmm.
You just do because you do. And Tri-Cities, sorry, David Tribble, and I would tell this to you. Tri-Cities, terrible. On my Instagram, you can go, and I take a black light on the road with me so I can look at the beds.
Oh, terrible.
And there was a,
No.
yep, yeah, I'll show you that video later.
It's a terrible idea.
Ooh, I should save that. I will post that to our Instagram. I'll post that video for you guys that want to see it because it's really funny. They said that it was the laundry detergent, but I don't know if that's a thing. But anyway, he was in Tri-Cities at the same gig, and he calls me and he's like, "I'm in Tri-Cities, and my heart's broken." Basically, you had a leaky heart valve, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
So they fixed a valve.
Yeah, they fixed the valve.
They
Long
kept
story
telling you
short.
you had the flu.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm a vegetarian for 25 years. I weigh 178 pounds. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I surf every day.
Yeah.
So, like, it took them forever to find out what was wrong with me. I just was getting shortness of breath when I was surfing.
Yeah.
I couldn't breathe. They did like 4 weeks of lung tests on me and couldn't find anything. And so they sent me to an MRI or a CAT scan or something for my chest.
Tube.
And I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going on the road tomorrow after this. Is it cool that I go on the road? And he's like, oh, yeah, we won't get your results till probably late tomorrow. And then that's Friday. And then, we'll just call you on Monday when you get back into town. I'm like, okay, cool. So I fly to Seattle because I got a connector from Seattle to Tri-Cities. I get off the phone and I get off the plane and my phone is blowing up. Just bzz, 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 and it's the doctor's like, get to a hospital now. I'm like, what? He's like, do you have chest pains? Yeah. Do you have shortness of breath? Yeah. Go to a hospital. Like, I've been telling you that for a month. Why is it different now?
Oh,
So
they found it.
Yeah, they found it, and it's like something's leaking in your lungs, and we got to figure out what it is. So I was like, well, I'll think about it on that pedal jumper from Seattle. I'll figure out what I want to do. You know,
Something was leaking into your lungs.
yeah, the valve was the fluid filled up so much in the atrium that it was leaking into my lungs, which is
That fluid
causing
being
me
blood.
not to breathe. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was causing me to. So I was
The
basically
blood that
drowning.
keeps us living.
Yeah.
Basically drowning on my own blood.
Oh man.
And so he's like, well, listen, I'm like, I got a 20-minute flight. I'll think about it. I'm going to come home. But meanwhile, I'm thinking, I'm going to the hospital. I got to keep this crappy triple gig if I'm going to pay some doctor's bills.
Right.
So it's like, so he's like, well, at least go to a urgent care. Urgent care thing. And I don't even know what an urgent care is. So I took the 20-minute. I got picked up, went to the hotel, and I checked in. And I'm like, hey, you guys have a gym? They're like, yeah, we have a gym. Like, also, weird question. Do you have an urgent care anywhere around here? He's like, oh, yeah, right there across the street.
Oh.
So I was like, well, all right. I don't know if I believe in signs, but that's probably a sign. So I went to the urgent care, and they're like, oh, we got to get you to the fucking we got to call in the cardiologist specialist and get you in there. And they rushed me over to the hospital and diagnosed me there.
Yeah. Anything serious in urgent care is always just going to kick you. There's always going to kick you to.
Yeah, I'd never been in
bigger
urgent
place.
care in my life.
Yeah.
And it's a long line. It's like the Kmart of hospitals, urgent cares.
Oh, yeah.
I walked in and there
Right.
was a line out
Yeah.
the door of people, and there was a sign that said, if you have chest pains or shortness of breath, come to the front of the line. And I'm like, well, that's me. And then everybody's like giving me the hairy eyeball. I'm like, I'm like, this is me. I'm
Like,
carrying the
for
sign.
real,
I'm
for
sorry.
real.
This is really what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And they rushed me in, and then they rushed me to the hospital there. And then when I got back into town, I went to a cardiologist, got diagnosed there.
And they really cracked him open. Interesting thing he
No,
told
that's how
me.
they get the heart. They got to get in there.
He told me that your back was really sore where they chicken winged you. Is what I.
Oh, yeah. No,
I don't know
I
if
was
that's a
full
real
on.
term, but that's what I think of.
No, you're a medical person. It's on
Break his
23 and
back
me.
and then it
Yeah.
opens his sternum up.
Break you like a
Yeah,
chicken.
they opened my sternum up, and I got wires in my sternum now that
Mm-hmm.
I showed Amanda earlier. We've been together all day,
Good.
and
You want
Well,
feel,
it's good to see the scar. That way you know he wasn't faking it for the undertow
Right.
cancellation. right?
how much are you paying?
I
Okay.
would like to see a doctor's note on that, please.
right?
Provide one for. for me. Not that I don't trust you. I just due diligence.
Well, I'm glad that you lived. You seem like you're back to normal.
I think I'm at 90%, but I've never
good.
really been 100%, so
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Mm.
Yeah. I think
Well,
I'm
I'm
back
glad
to
you're
normal.
with us.
Oh, thanks. Glad to be here.
That's really good.
This
That's a good
interview would be weird if he
segue.
wasn't.
That's a good segue into my quiz. So my quiz is a short quiz, and I'm going to quiz. It's actually a quiz about dental knowledge.
Beyond the mitral valve.
We
in
do
the heart.
It's a rapid fire quiz.
No, this isn't rapid fire.
Oh, we're not doing
This
rapid
is more
fire.
of a discussion. It's less questions and more of a discussion-oriented quiz.
Ooh, changing
So
things
speaking of
up.
urgent cares in ERs, what percentage of ER visits would you guess is dental problems?
25%. They
Zero.
turn you away though. They won't do anything
No,
for
it's
you.
25%. 20 to 25%.
Really? Is
I'm
dental
really good at
problems?
number
Job.
games.
Have I
by
told
the
you
way.
that before?
No, I'm really good at number games.
Shocking. So like in Colorado, when I practiced in Colorado, I had some friends who were ER docs, and they would tell me, no, it's about 1 in 4, 1 in 5 people that come in are suffering from dental pain.
I have a toothache?
Yes.
Really?
Or a
But
dental,
you
a dental abscess.
Legal
Oh.
reasons, doctors can't do anything for
No,
you.
they can give an injection, like an injection to like get you numb, but they're usually leaving with opioids or antibiotics or the combination
Oh,
of both,
interesting.
and they don't do anything. So a few of them know how to give like blocks, like they can get you numb, but then they'll just kick you to a dentist.
Before you helped me, I just went to the emergency room one
Yeah.
night and they wouldn't do anything for me.
No, and
Oh.
that's 25% or 20 to 25% of our ERs are clogged up with.
Dental
Dental
pain.
Dental
stuff.
pain.
Interesting.
They,
Well, here's an
they
interesting,
treated me like I was drug seeking.
Here's an interesting
Yes.
fact.
Well, that happens so much; it's hard for them not to.
Yeah.
Not to make this about me, but I am the guest.
Right.
I had to go get a full dental exam before they cracked my chest open.
Right.
I had to go get apparently. What? Apparently,
They tell you. They tell you why.
because if you get an infection in your mouth, you'll die or something.
So you can go septic from a.
I thumbed the paperwork. I didn't really. I put a lot of faith in my surgeon.
Yeah.
You've done this before? High five. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Right.
Do you want to watch a video of them doing this to somebody else? No, not even a little bit. Not at all.
Do you have
Yeah.
any questions for me?
So
no,
they,
I don't want to
if you're
learn
getting
any more
anything
about it.
anything prosthetic, any prosthetic valve or anything
Uh-huh.
like that, they need to protect that from any kind of infection. So the
Okay.
dental.
I don't have nothing foreign in.
Oh, you don't.
in my heart anyway.
Oh,
Hello.
hello.
No, they
Anyway.
were able to fix my valve, but I did have to go get
All checked
a
out.
dental checkup in it to make sure there were no infections in there.
Yeah. Okay. And you passed.
I did.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to hear that. Okay, second question. This is true or false. Dental offices can quote fees exactly prior to treatment.
False.
True.
It's true.
Really?
Yeah. Medical
It's a
can't.
racket.
Oh,
It's a
because
racket.
I was basing it off medical.
This is when
Okay.
no, they can too. I'm so
They
upset.
can?
This is one of my
Ooh, I have
soapbox
something to
issues.
say about this too.
So you go to get I just got a vasectomy done, right?
Uh-huh.
And I
They cut
asked
his balls off.
how much yeah, and the shaft. The whole
I've
thing.
listened to the podcast.
You're
Nuts
the
and
greatest
berries.
Ken doll
Right.
ever.
Gone. They just told me that's how they do it. It's
Wow.
super easy.
Wow, you
so
went,
quick.
You went full bobbit on that.
It's so quick. We can
You
do it the
want-
hard way or the easy way.
They give you a 15% discount. Let your wife do it.
Right. But no, I go there, and this is a procedure, mind you, that they do routinely, all the time. And I ask for a price, I get nothing. Nope. You got to call your insurance company.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call my insurance company. They say, well, it depends on how they code it.
Right.
Right.
That's
It could be
such
this code or that code, which I understand that because we do that same thing in dental, but I do it enough that I can say, I know what kind of crown I'm doing. I know what the root canal procedural codes. I have it all worked out. And whatever you're going to get in my office, I can tell you this is what the insurance is going to come back and pay because they're contracted rates. However, even if they come back and pay less, I drop it because I always worry about I want to be honest and I don't ever want to come back as nickel and diming my patients and my customers. But dentists are small business owners and doctors usually are not.
Yeah.
And so we worry about that kind of stuff and doctors don't have to, which is, and the kind of insurance companies run the game on that. So that's something that's really uncommon. And so when I go to a medical place, because I'm coming from a dental background and I wanted a price, I get fuming mad when they can't tell me.
I feel the same way as
price.
an ex-vet tech. No, the one thing I will say, as doing veterinary medicine for 5 years, and I know I'm not a, damn it, Jim, I wasn't a doctor. I could have been.
Probably.
But I wasn't.
Yeah.
So the lab work, we would have dogs come in or cats. I would draw their blood. I would then spin it. I would take serum. I would use
Yeah.
these little things, and I would be able to run lab work immediately and know what was going on. Why is lab work taking so long with humans? It's just so weird. I'm like, you have to have the same machine.
Well, the medical system in the United States is super broken, and I don't know that you don't feel like that.
I don't. Wow, that's not anything that's been discussed
Why
on
haven't they
Super
cured
Book by my
cancer?
mother at all.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
gonna lose some money.
I don't know the answer. So if our listeners were hoping, sorry, I don't have the answer to that. But I think a lot of the stuff in the dental model, the way dental models are run, would be awesome if medical adopted it in the same way. But it would have to be a situation where doctors have more autonomy and don't have to answer to insurance companies.
Yeah.
No, I have really good insurance, and I'm still
Medical.
I'm still getting bills.
Is that through your wife or out of your comic?
Well, there's also a thing called writing for television.
I'm joking.
Okay. And I still get bills for like the guy who pushed the cart.
Yeah.
$2,000.
Right.
You know, and bullshit like that.
Yeah.
And it's infuriating because
it should
at
be
first
illegal to do medical procedures without telling a human being what this is going to look like for you financially.
Sure.
That is like a contract that you're getting into and have no idea what the price tag is going to. You'd never buy a house and then find out what you're going to pay for the house after the contract is done. But medical, that is the way it is.
It should also
everyone just accepts it. I don't.
It should also be
no,
illegal
Damn
that waiters and waitresses get paid at least minimum wage. But
In addition to the tips.
but the
In Oregon, they get minimum wage.
do they?
Yeah.
Good. Good,
I
good.
heard down in the South some places that they're literally getting paid like $1 an hour because they have to legally pay them something hourly. But then the rest is just their wages. That is like mind blowing to me. And then they tax their wages or tax their tips. I mean,
Yeah, that's
I can't even imagine.
tax is theft. We all
You
believe
said something that it's gone now. I'm not going to focus on it.
Okay, next question.
Yep.
Oh,
Dry socket is more likely to be caused by the dentist or the patient.
Patient by either using straws or smoking.
Those are the common culprits. Murray, do you want to weigh in on that?
I'll just weigh
No,
in by
let me
saying
in.
dry socket and hammer toe are my two favorite things.
Oh,
I just love
do
those.
you like them equally, or is one more favorite?
Whatever comes up in conversation, I'm willing to take the ride.
Like
Hammer toe.
Hammer toe, yeah.
conversations going on. You're like, hey, did you guys just talk about hammer toe? Can
Yeah,
I get on
so
this
I'm-
conversation?
How
Sorry,
are you?
I wasn't eavesdropping, but hammer toe.
Are you guys talking
let's
about
do
hammer
it.
toe? Because that's my jam.
How are you a doctor and you're not like "Dun-dun-dun-dun, hammer toe? Like, how do you not do that every time you have a patient that gets
I don't
that? I would
deal
wait
with
for it.
toes.
I wasn't. There are other doctors.
Oh.
other than you.
Oh, you're talking about a toe doctor.
Doctors
Yeah.
aren't mean, and they're
Yeah.
out to help people. And
No, that's
Hammer toe is a-
hilarious.
hammer toe is a.
You would love your doctor if they did that to you.
If I had hammer toe,
I don't know.
which
what,
I don't.
What is hammer toe?
It's a thing that Vegas waitresses get. I'm sure a lot, maybe
Oh,
other people get.
it's like you.
It's where your big toe kind of bends over and goes over to the right.
Yeah.
From wearing heels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm
or
guessing
those
on that.
shoes
I don't know if that's the technical term. Randall, when
Yeah.
you finish eating in 30 minutes,
I
can you
don't-
Google that for us?
I don't mess with ugly feet.
Yeah.
Not gonna
Yeah.
do that. I got nice feet.
You have nice feet.
I have nice
Do
feet.
you guys want to know my dental joke that I use on
You don't have
almost
to
all
Google
my
Randall.
patients?
Sorry.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
when they say, "Tell me if you think this is funny," it goes over pretty well. Okay.
Two comics.
Okay.
Two comics
So-
here.
Are you doing this at conventions or to patients?
Just the patients.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But
Before or after the
patients
gas?
will say, "Hey, is this gonna hurt?" Right before the injection, and I say, "Don't worry, I'm not gonna feel a thing," and then I do it.
It's more scary.
It goes over pretty well.
It's like before somebody like is getting ready to kill you, and they're like, "Is this gonna hurt?"
I'm just
Well, I'm
saying.
gonna be fine.
Sorry, sir. My insurance doesn't cover jokes.
Have you ever had a friend do a medical procedure on you?
I'd like to think my surgeon and I got pretty close.
But yeah, but like
Nice.
somebody, have you been to her house?
No, never.
Have you done a podcast with her?
What's going on? Where are we going?
I
was
did
so-
dental
I
work
have
on
a feeling- I have
Amanda.
a
That's what
feeling
she's
you-
talking
It
about.
was a weird juxtaposition change for me when we hung out, like, and because when I first met him, I'm like, oh, he's the doctor guy. And you have this, and I have friends that are veterinarians, but you know, I'm just constantly
But you're
hanging out
not
with
a
people
cat.
that are almost doctors. But I hope that I'm kidding. I
That's
love
fine.
it. You guys are so
Listen,
much more
listen.
educated than me. I get it.
I introduce myself as Brady to my patients, so
I love that
I'm
Matthew, my friend Dr. Schaefer, does that.
Yeah.
I think it's humanizing.
Sure.
I don't doubt what you've done. I let you do things to my face.
Yeah.
But it was weird after I got to know
You've
him.
said that to more than
and
just
I could kind of
dentists.
read his.
It's a good one.
Moving forward.
Point Murray.
I got
Point for Murray.
But when you can actually read their facial expressions and stuff, and you're like, oh, I think this is gonna hurt because I can see it in your face. Like, it's just weird. I'd never had somebody that I know.
I tried to warn you before I knew you were gonna. You
were an excellent dentist, Brady.
Oh, thank you. That's really nice.
You were an excellent dentist. I love my teeth. I have people tell me my teeth are beautiful all the time.
Oh, good.
My teeth weren't that bad internets before. They weren't horrible. They were just like normal teeth. Oh, they weren't.
I had to do it.
They were normal poor kid teeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no braces. Like just good old.
We got you from a Honda Civic to a Mercedes Benz. That's what we did.
Oh.
Took you from a Honda Civic to a Mercedes Benz, and that's.
I'm glad that you guys didn't let me go whiter. I wanted super white ones. And
everyone does, and we always come back down.
It just looks terrible, those super white ones.
Yeah, it can. Yeah.
But no, you're a great dentist.
Thank you. That's very nice.
I've never had any friends work on me.
Yeah.
I did go for a massage one time, and
your buddy did it.
The masseuse, they always have different names, like strippers do. I guess I didn't know that.
Okay.
And they're like, you're going to be with Delilah or whatever. I'm like, okay. And I walk in, and I'm like, man, Delilah looks familiar. And she's like, Murray, I was wondering if that was you. She's like, not Delilah, Sally, Joe's ex-girlfriend.
We made out in the back of a Honda Civic once.
You did thanks to my face.
Yeah.
And it was my friend's ex-girlfriend. And it was so fucking uncomfortable. And she was just like massaging me like, so have you talked to Joe lately?
That's not what I came here for.
I came out more tense than when I went in.
Right?
Yeah.
It was awful.
That's the worst place I would. That's like Chad Daniels on the podcast last week, and he was talking about how he got his vasectomy done in a small town, and the nurse that preps you, washes your junk, was a girl you went to high school with.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
No, that could be awkward and weird.
Yeah.
If I was a guy, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Which situation do you think makes Dr. Smith the most irritated? One of these happened today. One, X-ray radiation. X-ray radiation concerns. 2, fluoride concerns from parents of children. 3, any oil pulling conversation.
Oil pulling?
Any what?
Oil pulling conversation.
The swishing with the coconut oil?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a few things. Number one.
Are you answering the question?
Yeah, well, I am. Get there. You stop it. You stop.
Do you want any of this?
One, as far as the radiation goes, I think that's null and void. 2, fluoride. Are you talking about how it calcifies their third eye?
What?
Okay, we'll come back to that another time.
Whoa, yeah.
So it has to be oil pulling.
Murray, which one do you think irritates Dr. Smith the most?
I'm going to go number 2 because...
don't do it here.
Most
I made it funny.
You're 12.
That was witty. That was right there.
Really? And I got no high fives on the face joke.
I
don't know.
You're far
I
away.
realized we were doing highbrow material. Okay.
I know my audience. Is all it is.
I expect more from you.
Okay,
that's all.
I'm going to go number 2 because any conversation...
Can't help it. It's funny every time.
Any conversation that has to go with annoying usually has parents of children followed up with it.
It's true. Here's the answer is it's a 3-way tie because they all really piss me off. Any of these conversations, and it takes everything that I have to just keep it together and not just boot people out of my office. But I did boot a person out of my office today because didn't want X-rays, which happens every now and then. Usually I go in and talk them into it because it's been a year. And usually every year we like to update those. We just take 4, they're called bite wing X-rays. 2 pictures here on the right side, 2 pictures on the left side. The equivalent would be like a radiation dosage would be like a CAT scan, like a full body CAT scan. You'd have to get 3,000 sets of 4 bite wings to be the equivalent radiation dosage of a CAT scan, a full body CAT scan. So it's negligible amount of radiation. And the guy says, I said, so I understand you don't want X-rays. He says, that's right. I said, okay, can I ask you why? And he says, well, because someone died from leukemia or cancer from something, and I just want to keep my radiation as low as possible. I said,
so somebody he knew that he was close to.
Yeah, and it was radiation concerns. And then I said, well, just so you know,
they grew up in Chernobyl, but I'm sure it has nothing to do.
So whenever someone says this, I educate them on dosage because I think that's very important.
Sure.
This is how much you're getting. And I can't do my job adequately and show you what's inside your teeth if I don't take these pictures. So you're going to get I'm kind of working with one hand tied behind my back. And I said, so I went through the dosage and I do the whole thing. The CAT scan's like 3,000 of these. It's a CAT scan. He's like, no, I understand that. And I was like, oh, but I thought you said, his ex-wife said, I said, I thought you said it was the radiation was the concern. He's like, no, it is. I was like, oh, but you just said you understand what I just said about dosage. So I'm just confused. I said, you just not want the X-rays? That's fine if you just don't want the X-rays. I'm just trying to understand why. And he gets really upset with me. And he's like, I don't want extra radiation. So I said, okay, so it is the radiation. And he's like, yeah, okay. So anyways, no problem. So I finished doing his cleaning. And at the end I said, and then he came up with this arbitrary number of, I'm only going to get it done every 3 years. I said, okay. I said, well, if you're going to come back next time and you're not going to get X-rays, you probably better fit to have you just go somewhere else.
Ooh.
And he said, yeah, no problem. And I was like, okay.
Good talk, bro.
Yeah. So I kicked him out. Well, basically I kicked him out. I kind of was happy when he
left.
Yeah, because it's like I don't really want to work for.
Did you end up not doing anything on him?
No, he cleaned his teeth. That's what he wanted. So I did what he wanted.
Well, isn't there a liability at that point when you're doing dental work without
Yes.
X-rays? Because you could hit nerves or know.
If I thought that there was something like super threatening in his mouth, I would have said I can't be your
Like a
doctor.
gremlin?
But he looked okay.
I know, that's what I want to know. What's super threatening in somebody's
Like an
mouth?
abscess or an infection.
That might squirt you in the face or something?
Exactly right.
That's-
Exactly
yeah.
right. Yeah, exactly right.
I've been
The
squirted
oil
in the face
pulling
with gross
is the
stuff
worst
at
because
work.
coconut oil is sugar. There's sugar in it, and people are
Look at your eyes dilated.
mixing it. They're like it's like taking Fun Dip and putting it in water and just swishing with that for 20 minutes.
God, Fun Dip was great.
It was great.
It
Yeah.
was.
But not for
No
your teeth.
cavities. Zero cavities.
Never had a cavity?
Never had a cavity.
Ooh.
Yeah, buddy.
I call bullshit.
Dang.
I
that's
call up
fancy.
yours because I've never had a cavity.
I had a patient today who never had a cavity and perfect teeth, and she goes like 3 years between visits with her dentist, and it's
Genetics.
My
It's
teeth were
super
all
rare.
jacked up and everything because I needed braces, but I never had a cavity.
My mom had really jacked up teeth, and she was like, I'm so glad that you got my eye color and your dad's teeth. My dad had straight teeth, but my mom had like a big old elevated palate and a horrible overbite. I mean, she's a pretty woman, but her teeth were jacked up.
Sounds it.
She was very pretty.
Those
Feel
are
No,
bad.
we had our both of like my brothers. I busted my two front teeth out when I was 11. I dove on a telephone, and my brothers didn't, and they have like the 10 Commandments like shoved up in their gums. This big old.
Did the screen shatter when you fell on it? On the phone?
Yeah, I'm old.
No, I had a phone too. I just want people on like our younger listeners. He's like, well, how did he fall on his phone? Like, was it like one of those big yellow like phones? Like,
Yeah, one of those big plastic.
Yeah.
Like, with you had a dial or maybe a push button.
Yeah.
My brother was talking to his girlfriend on my parents' bed and then left it on the bed and left. And this was when we didn't have phones on us, so it was really exciting when the phone rang. Right. And you wanted to get to
you
it first.
dove onto the
and
bed.
I dove onto the bed and just bang and busted out my two front teeth.
Oh.
Best thing that ever
Do you
happened
have-
to me.
Do you have like caps in your two front teeth?
Yeah, now I have to decide if I want to get permanent veneers now that I got my teeth fixed.
Ooh. I know a guy.
So maybe somebody could recommend me.
Yeah, I know a guy.
Maybe
Yeah.
somebody could recommend me
what
for
is
free
your
veneers.
opinion on veneers versus we did caps on mine. So
Correct.
Aren't veneers just basically like fake fingernails for your teeth?
Yeah, it's situational
Okay.
and a little bit up to like the doctor's, the dentist's discretion. But it's most dentists are trying to conserve tooth structure, so you're going to use a veneer because you're drilling off less of the tooth to do it. But there are situations where the likelihood of somebody popping one of those off is super high with the way they bite, which was your situation. So I was concerned about that, and you had existing fillings in your teeth. So a few of your teeth had fillings in them that were sizable, and so there's already a lot of that structure's already been removed, so it kind of alleviates that concern.
You have the one hygienist lady that likes doing all the like real technical detailed work. She tells me every time I go in how tiny my mouth is, and I love it because my whole life I've heard what a big mouth I am.
Was it Nav?
Yeah, I think so.
I like her.
But
You're like a daddy long legs.
yeah, like big with a tiny mouth. Like
Yeah,
she's like, your mouth is almost child size. I was like,
Open it up.
it's not very big.
Oh, it's adorable. It's a baby mouth.
Yeah, little baby mouth, little 7 pound, 5 ounce baby mouth.
That's right.
Anyway, I like her.
I
So
got great staff. I love my staff.
no, I do too.
Yeah.
So what did we talk about? So we had Murray. Murray, what do you got coming up?
Yeah. Let's let Murray plug whatever he wants to plug. Do you got anything going on you want to talk about?
Not really.
No?
I'm actually I had to cancel everything because of my heart surgery earlier this year. So I'm just.
Are you you're surfing though?
Yeah, I'm back to surfing.
Good.
Yeah, it's been great. Traveling.
Favorite places to surf?
In the world or
Like anywhere, like what?
Costa Rica's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hawaii is the only place that ever lives up to its postcards.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
I actually watched
I
it
surf in
drain.
California
Sorry,
a
it was
lot.
funny.
Man is distracted.
And then
by a
I'll
shiny
be,
object.
if anybody's in Pasadena, California, I'm doing my podcast is part of the All Things Comedy Network, and we're doing a toy drive fundraiser.
Oh.
So it's $5 and a unopened toy get you in at the
cool.
door. I can't announce the lineup yet, but it's going to be fantastic. Let's just say my podcast network was started by Bill Burr and Al Madrigal. So just give
And
you an
remind
idea of-
everybody what the name of your podcast
Oh, my
is.
podcast is the Road Stories Podcast. You
And
can
what's
catch
it about?
Anywhere. It's comics talking about all the really crazy stuff that happens on and off the road.
Do you have any dentists on your lineup?
I'm already asking him about going on there, so you might have to go to LA
Oh,
with me. And
fine.
If Dennis traveled and there was like a dental circuit, I would
Yeah.
love to have you on.
Okay, cool. I'll look into that.
I want to start doing something new really quick.
Don't
I'll
make
make
me
this
feel bad
quick.
about you
Okay.
asking me to be on my show.
I find that we're getting a lot of parents on the podcast, and we probably have a lot of people that have kids that are
I'm a
listening.
parent.
And you are a parent. Brady told me a hilarious story about how his daughter I think it was your daughter that said she needed #2 pencils for school.
Oh yeah, my oldest daughter. This was last year when she started second grade. Her list of school supplies. She told me she needed #2 pencils, which are number 2 pencils, the number sign.
Oh my God, that's what that means. That's
Right.
hilarious.
So
Yeah.
she said, "I need some #2 pencils." I said, "What?"
I loved you. You were like, just burn it down. Just it's
Just-
over.
Yeah.
we're done with school.
So in the last 30 days, what's the funniest thing your kids said?
Oh, Lord.
You can lie. It doesn't have to be 30 days.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you the funniest thing that happened recently regarding my child and my wife. What my kid is obsessed with the fact that I'm a comedian. He's like blown away that I do. What? You go and you make people laugh?
How old
And
is he?
He's 6.
Oh, okay.
And he was listening to my phone the other
Fun.
day, and my album came up and was listening to a track, and he was just dying. He was just having a good. Basically, my humor is for 6-year-olds, I guess.
No, I love it. It's super
But
cute.
at dinner the other day, we're all just this kind of quiet dinner, and Frank, my son, goes, Mommy, when I grow up, I want to be a comedian.
Oh.
And my wife went, no! Like full on guttural, not for the comedy at all, just an
I
aggressive.
love it.
No!
And she doesn't understand when she does that. She's probably cementing it forever. That he's
Oh,
gonna
I
be-
know.
Now
Like, this
he's
is the only
definitely
thing
going to be a
he can-
comedian.
Look, we've seen him try basketball. We got to whatever he shines at. We gotta do that.
Mama, don't
right.
let your babies
That's
grow up to
hilarious.
be comedians.
Yeah, absolutely.
Murray,
good.
thank you so
I'm
much.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for the delicious food.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah,
And
thank you
thanks
to
for
Los Potrillos
Los Potrillos.
for providing us with amazing food. Please
you
try
look
them
up that
out if
thing?
you're in the Camas area.
Did you look up that thing I asked you to look up? Yeah. What is hammer toe? Because I know our listeners have
Real
been.
quick. It's from wearing heels on being on your feet, right?
So, like this.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Lord.
It looks like they could climb a tree with those
Yeah.
toes.
Peel a banana.
Like they have an opposable thumb on their toe.
Kinda
on their
hot, though.
foot.
Kind of
see
into
that?
it.
I'm into feet. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
feet.
Cool.
That's why you were like, what? Nice feet.
Dry socket is equally as disgusting, just so you know. That
Oh,
was, that was
it
your other
smells
favorite?
worse.
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
my two favorite
It's
references.
equally
dry
disgusting.
socket
Well, doesn't
and hammer
dry
toe.
socket smell like hot garbage? Kind of like,
It's
It's
no,
abscess
like
smell.
and then you get a hole in your mouth and food collects in there and
Nope.
just starts.
Mm-mm.
It basically starts digesting food in your mouth. Like food will digest in your mouth because you have salivary enzymes that actually, if you leave food in your mouth, it will digest it. Your mouth, you can digest food in your mouth.
I'm a fucking spider.
But if it gets into an extraction site,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
Well, it's
Way-
like,
way
what's
to
her name that
outdress
was
hammer
chewing up
toe.
her kids' food and spitting it in their mouth? The famous,
Birds.
yeah, well, birds. God, I love you. I get to spend the next 2 days in a car with him.
So lucky.
He's just so blatantly rough with me, and I love it.
Yeah. But it's all
it was
from love,
Alyssa
Amanda.
Milano. No, it wasn't Alyssa Milano. Help me remember this.
Sounds like something Gwyneth Paltrow would do.
It was one of
Yeah, it
them.
does, doesn't
And
it?
they
Yeah.
were, it's
Boo.
the chick.
And sell it on her website.
It's the
for like
chick
$1
from
million.
Clueless.
Alicia Silverstone?
Yeah, Alicia Silverstone. She was chewing up her kids' food and spitting it in their mouth. Anyway, Murray Valeriano.
Can you say it, please, Brady?
Valeriano.
Thank you.
Valeriano.
Like Valerian Steel.
I don't. Whatever.
Watch Game of Thrones. Know about it.
Valerian Root. God, thank God we didn't talk about that for an hour. I've never seen it.
I got him
I
on.
thought that's
No,
where
I'm
we're going.
surrounded
I was
by.
like, oh man,
I'm
just
surrounded
gonna
by
enjoy
Game of
the
Thrones
fajitas.
virgins. I think.
I got him. No, I read the book.
One of the books.
one of the
It's like
books.
6.
I turned him onto Big Mouth tonight too, by the way.
Oh,
And
I don't know where I'm at
that
on it, though.
our production guy wants us to quit so bad, but I have one other thing. You know what I did for you? You want to know what I did for you, Dr. Brady Smith?
yes.
I
I think
watched
so.
Under the Deck.
Below Deck.
Smart ass.
We got
God, I
time.
love him.
We got time.
Below Deck. I watched
Did you like it?
I do more
Yeah.
than I want to admit.
The Tahiti one?
No, it was the one where the rich guy made them dress up like cupids.
Yeah. That's Tahiti. That's
Yeah.
this episode. That's this season. It's
Yeah,
great.
it's
Keep watching it. It's
yeah.
fantastic. It's great.
So follow us on Instagram.
I get
The
my Instagram?
Facebooks.
Oh, let's do a secret word. The secret word.
No, can we have our guest pick it? I like that.
Oh yeah, we can. Do you want to choose a secret word that will
Sure.
trigger the bonus
Okay.
or the pimp your grill dental?
Pimp your grill.
There you go.
He hates it. He
Yeah.
hates it so much. You hate
Give
it
a secret
too, I
word
can
or
tell.
phrase.
I see that I just pick it and
You
then
just pick
Yeah.
it, whatever it is, and that's it.
hammer toe.
Hammer toe.
Yeah, I knew that.
That's
I
perfect.
knew it was gonna be like cardiac or hammer toe. Like,
Perfect.
Hammer toe, man.
Perfect.
this was a good.
Hammer toe is the word. First person to email us gets 500. We got 2 availability for
that's
2
how they're doing
winners.
it. Make the secret word MurrayValeriano.com.
You already chose
Oh.
hammer toe.
All right. Hammer toe.
So what should it be
That's too
again?
confusing.
Well, I mean, I was thinking it would be Murray V Comedy on Instagram, but
Or what else?
now
What
you're
would be
getting-
another
Now
option?
you're just getting too
Or I
complicated.
would have probably gone at Murray V on Twitter, but it's hammer toe.
Okay. Was
Or
there?
I-
secret
or I
word
would
is
have
definitely
probably
hammer
gone, Facebook.com Murray Valeriano Comedy, but
I don't know.
went with hammer
I don't know
toe.
how to spell. Can you spell that?
Valeriano?
Yeah.
The way it sounds. Valeriano, Valeriano, Murray.
Way to play along.
M-U-R-R-A-Y.
Way to play along. I'm over.
We got a long drive
I
tomorrow.
know. I
We
love
got
this.
2 people dead on the side of the
Right.
whatever highway that
Just
is.
us getting arrested, screaming at each other on the gorge.
Okay, this is the stand-up diet. Signing out.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you,
Thanks
bye.
for coming, Murray.